Hello everyone. We have action. It says we're live. So welcome to all of you joining me today on my live video. It's Monday, and so we usually do some motivation. So I will just add this to the bottom there. So we have the little ticker tape going. It's cool. So motivation, inspiration, and assistance today. But I'm struggling a bit today. I'm finding it very rough, and I shouldn't be struggling today. I should be happy. I spent the weekend with my family, with my kids and grandkids, and we had a wonderful time camping and all those type of things. And I should be happy, but I don't feel very happy today. So before we go any further, my name is Coachheatheredmundson, and I am coming at you live. There's my name, Heather. Coming at you live here this afternoon from Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. And I have an e-commerce business of my own, and I assist struggling network marketers, MLM, digital businesses, move their businesses online into this busy online space with mentorship, education, skills, attraction marketing, and social media. So hopefully I can provide you with some value today and that you can gain some takeaways. And if you do, let me know right down there. You guys know what to do. So, like I said, I was struggling today. I'm not feeling the greatest. And I know we all have to find a way to get out of our head funk, get out of the way we're feeling, out of our mood, out of our, like I said, funky headspace. So that wasn't really what I was going to talk about today, but I just thought I would bring it up and let you know that even when we don't feel like going live, I've made a commitment to you guys here to go live and share some fun tips and facts and motivation today, like Motivation Monday, with all of you. So I am here, and like I said, my head is kind of in a fog. I feel like I'm in a fog today. So we will move forward with what I have thought that we would talk about, and I'm going to talk about today about a little bit about parenting and our parents, and maybe some of the things that they did that maybe we didn't think were the best. Sorry, I thought I heard somebody coming in the bedroom here where I'm at. So if you are coming on for the very first time onto one of my lives, you've never caught one of my lives before, there is a thing up above there that you need to tap on and give it access to see your profile picture if you want to join in the conversation. If you are coming in after the fact and you're catching the replay, please do let me know that, and I will give you a shout out when I get a chance to after the fact. So we're talking here about parenting and being parents, and maybe some of the things that have come up in your life and have come up in my life, and some of the reasons why maybe your mom or dad or parent wasn't emotionally stable, or emotionally, maybe they treated you well, but they didn't emotionally treat you well. So hello, Patricia. Thank you for jumping in here today. Wonderful to see your smiling face. That's awesome. So some parents, there's no rule book on how to raise your kids. There's no rule book on how to be a good person and navigate your way around this world. So we all just kind of fly by the seat of our pants, I guess you could say. So maybe we need to take a look at ourselves and say, well, just as a human being, not necessarily as a parent, but as a human being, are we using hurtful words when we speak to people, and not even realize that maybe we're speaking to our loved ones or our children or our good friends or coworkers or people that you interact with. You're maybe speaking to them and you don't even realize that you're actually using words that are unkind and hurting their feelings or jabbing them in the heart kind of thing. And we really need to take a reality check and check on ourselves and be mindful of things that we are saying. So how do you act towards your friends or family? Are you making sure that you are maybe taking a 5-second pause before you actually blurt out something that might be hurtful to that person or that friend that you have before you actually say it? We need to take more of that. We need to take more time and actually think a little bit before we respond. Like I said, every now and then we need to take a reality check with ourselves and look at how you're speaking. The tone of your voice can make a difference. and your body language, the way you're holding yourself, and you're sitting there with your shoulders slumped and your big pouty face, frown on your face. Everything that you're going to say is going to come across that you are grumpy and you're not happy about things that are going on, or you're being right away have your back up against the wall, that you're being snarly, those types of things. And people will react by how you are reacting to them. If they saw you walking down the street and you're all like that, do you look like you're very approachable if you're doing something like that? No, they're going to avoid you and walk around on the other side of the street and avoid you, because you don't look like you're in a happy place. So we all need to try and get our mind back in a good groove, get that fog out of your head. Everybody needs to be happy. It's not a nice scene when everybody's sad. And I know with all this going on and people in lockdown still, and I know a few things have opened up and people are still struggling with their finances with all this is going on. Some people have been home for now 4.5, 5 months now. So that's craziness. Hello, Cynthia. Thank you for jumping in here today all the way from Australia. I appreciate it, my friend. That's awesome. So we want to talk to our families about what is painful to us and what are they struggling with. And if we have said something that is hurting their feelings, you want them to express back to you that, hey, maybe that wasn't such a kind thing to say, and it really hurts my feelings, and then we need to talk it out. So maybe you have to open up those lines of communication better and really express how you were feeling and stuff. So, and my hubby's jumping on here. Hello, Polly. Yeah, to reset his phone. See my video. That's awesome, because he just did a video of his own downstairs in his music room, playing some rock and roll on his guitar, so I can hear him through the floorboards. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, we need to open up those lines of communication and be respectful of other people and listen to their body language. And maybe if you do know that your friend is having a down day, maybe reach out for them. Maybe drop off a little care package on their doorstep. I know a lot, because we can't maybe necessarily actually be physically around them. Share a cup of coffee with them through a virtual space like I'm sharing right now with you. So anything like that. So because I was feeling down today and I wasn't quite feeling myself, and like I said, I should have been feeling fine because I just had a whole bunch of family time and it was really awesome. I reached out to a friend and we had kind of a little video chat. We didn't actually have our cameras on, but we talked with each other because I hadn't actually done my hair or anything like that, because when you don't have to do your hair or your makeup or anything like that, you kind of fall into a slump too. Sometimes it just makes you feel better if you actually get up and do your hair and put your makeup on and get yourself ready like that, because it gets you also thinking in a good headspace as well. So if that's something that would work for you, maybe you should try that out too. I can't put any of my makeup on right now because I've got a huge eye infection, so I actually have to throw out a whole bunch of my makeup, and now it's going to cost me a whole bunch of money to get some more. Life, hey? Life is always taking us in different directions. So back to what we're talking about. That person doesn't mean to be mean or disrespectful for you with what they're saying and with the next person that they come in contact with. But like I said, maybe you need to communicate better about it. Maybe you need to express your feelings. And so, you know what, it really ticks me off when you leave your dirty dishes on the sink when the dishwasher is right there, and you could rinse them off and put them in the dishwasher. Anything, whatever it is that ticks you off, let me know. Put them down there. There's things that if you're used to living in your own space by yourself, that maybe like Patricia, maybe her kitties are pissing her off. They're up on her new furniture and getting their hair all over it. I mean, you can't have a conversation with your cat, but you can sure still show your displeasure to them by I don't know if you can take food away from a cat or not, but cats have attitude. So they're almost like a teenager. So I don't know what you would do there. Talking about these things, I said, is very important, and people can still act and say that they love you, but still mistreat you by their language. I know that my parents said to me that they loved me and they did things for me and they'd go out of their way and stuff. And my dad's passed away now, but my mom, even my kids say, my mom will pick up on a negative that she sees in you before she'll give you a positive. And we need to be a little bit more mindful of that. You know, she'll say, well, why did you do that to your hair? Now it looks silly. Or why did you color it like that? Or why are you wearing those pants? They don't look good with those shoes, or whatever it is. And instead of saying, hey, you know, I see that you did your hair different. What did you do? You know, it's just all, you know, it can still say the same thing with using different words and changing it around to the message that she was trying to get across in her brain. So I don't fault my parents for that. That's just how my mom is. And she's only acting like that because that's probably the way she was treated when she was growing up. And that's the way her parents spoke to her. And so you can't fault them for that. Thank you, Patricia, for enjoying what I'm talking about. I appreciate it. Can't fault them for talking to you like that, because maybe that's how they've grown up. Also, some people that maybe didn't have any structure in their home life, anything like that, they don't have a role model to actually follow. So like I said, there's no rule book on the right and wrong ways of raising a family or having a relationship with somebody. We're all kind of just, like I said, flying by the seat of our pants. But we do have to remember when we are speaking to someone to be mindful of our words and our body language. Like I said, maybe you never know how exactly they were treated growing up. You don't know the whole story. I know that as a nurse, and when I was working on a floor, and we had a lot of really critically ill, critically sick people, and they were asking for pain medication, as an example. And this one particular nurse that I worked with said, well, she just had it, you know, X number of hours ago, and I don't think I should give it to her again. And I said, you know what? The doctor ordered it to be given, you know, XYZ, however it was. And I said, what makes you think that you should decide when this person has pain medication and when she shouldn't? You are not the one making those decisions. And maybe she is having a lot of pain, but she doesn't show it or display it the way the next person maybe does. And when you actually look back in this person's chart, you know, she was suffering with a lot of mental abuse, a lot of physical abuse, and she was having a tough time. And so maybe her pain wasn't from like a surgery type pain or an injury type pain, but it was a mental health pain. It was a pain in her head that she was trying to blanket out with some kind of medication. So we are not here to judge people, and we need to take a better look at the situation to the way that somebody has spoken to you. And maybe they are lashing out because maybe they're in pain. Maybe somebody just spilled their coffee on that person. Maybe, I don't know, whatever the situation is, you need to take a better look at the situation and really, really evaluate that maybe they are having a bad day for whatever reason, and they're just lashing out to you or at you because you are just the next person around. Like somebody comes home and kicks the dog because the dog is in the way, or the dog has done something and it's not actually the dog's fault that you haven't been there to play with it and to give it some toys or a chew toy so that it chewed up your shoe. Those kinds of things. We also need to get out of our headspace and really listen to what that person has said and say, well, is that really a reflection on me? Or is that just an impression that that person has in their own mind of me? Because if it's something that I've done, then it's something I can change and I can control. But if it's something that they believe, then that's on them. That's not on you. And so you have to, it's part of your ego is what we call it. Part of your ego will say, well, I think they're talking about me behind my back. And you know, you're making up all these situations or scenarios in your head when actually that person is telling the person behind you about something that happened good to them in that day. They're not talking about you at all, and then you believe that they're talking about you, and you're twisting the story to make it fit what you think is happening, when in reality that's not what has happened at all. And we need to give ourselves permission to let go of that pain that you believe or that has happened to you in the past. The pain that, like I said, my mom always criticizing me for not dressing appropriately or not ever achieving much in my life, saying that I was stupid, And after hearing that over and over again in your lifetime, you do believe that that's what you are, or that's what you will be. And I can't fault her for that now, because I have made big leaps and bounds in my life, and I have amounted to something, and I believe in myself, and I have self-confidence in myself. But maybe looking back, maybe that was how she was raised. Maybe she was feeling envious of where I was going in my life, and maybe her life hadn't gone the way she had planned it. I don't really know. We need to talk, I guess. My mom and I need to talk about it a little bit more. Feeling bad right now because we can't see each other, because she's in a different province, and we're not supposed to travel province to province with all this stuff that's going on right now. So my husband says we should never judge. We should never judge. It's just not worth it, and that is correct. That's correct. We should never judge a person, even by the color of their skin, or the tattoos that they have, or the car that they're driving, or the clothes that they're wearing, because you never really know that person's story. You never know that the multimillionaire is driving a little cheap car, or he has the cheapest pair of runners or sneakers out there, because he's got a whole bank full of money, and he's got that whole bank full of money because he has saved every penny he's made. So please be mindful and respectful of people. If you are having a situation with someone, do open up the lines of communication and find out what their perspective is on things. And you can let them know what your perspective of the story is. Even just, like I said, being a nurse and my communication, or you're reading somebody else's charting and how they have read it, how they have written it,